So are you saying that he's 2 weeks older? And so I thought maybe that would allow time to wean the baby away from a birth mother if a surrogate was used. It would make sense. But instead of lying to the world, why not just say, we want a baby, we're having a baby, and we're using a surrogate?
Let's not sugarcoat it. What's that coming from inside the walls of Buckingham Palace? Sounds more like a script from a high-budget series than a real-life royal situation. But according to close royal observers, there's now a quiet but serious inquiry unfolding, one that involves Harry and Meghan's children and, surprisingly, the question of biological parentage. Sources familiar with royal protocols say certain members within the palace are requesting documentation not for curiosity's sake, but to address lingering concerns about how both of Meghan's pregnancies were presented to the public. That alone is a bold step in a family known for silence and discretion. Asking for clarity around something so sensitive suggests the situation behind the scenes has reached an unusual tipping point. This didn't come out of nowhere. For years now, quiet doubts have circled online, especially around Meghan's pregnancy with their first child, Archie. Observers noted inconsistencies, visible changes in the shape of her baby bump, her ability to move and squat with ease late in pregnancy, and a lack of typical medical confirmations that usually accompany a royal birth. At the time, most of those observations were brushed aside. Criticizing or questioning a royal woman's pregnancy was seen as inappropriate. But the conversation never really went away, just moved under the radar. Now, insiders suggest it's moved back into focus, and this time, it's no longer a social media conversation. What triggered the renewed interest? According to reports, it began with a quiet review of archived footage, press statements, and official documents, or the absence of them. When royal advisors reportedly attempted to verify birth records or medical sign-offs, they found inconsistencies or missing pieces. That, more than anything, to be clear, the issue isn't about the method of birth. If Meghan had used a surrogate, it wouldn't be controversial on its own. Families around the world choose that path for many valid reasons. The concern is about transparency or lack thereof. If there was a choice to conceal the use of a surrogate and instead present the narrative of a natural pregnancy, it raises questions about why that story was told and what it was meant to protect. Historically, royal births are highly documented events. There are physician statements, hospital announcements, and public confirmation of key details. With Archie's birth, much of that was either delayed or entirely absent. There was no standard photo outside the hospital, no signed doctor's statement, and reportedly, no record aligning with the timeline previously shared by the couple. That lack of standard protocol has raised internal concerns, especially now that discussions around the line of succession and formal roles are coming back into the spotlight. It's important to note that none of this is being handled publicly. There's been no official statement from the palace, and there likely won't be unless something concrete is confirmed. But those close to royal decision-makers say the tone has changed. There is less patience for uncertainty and more desire to protect the institution from further confusion or public speculation. The children, Archie and Lilibet, are now part of a bigger conversation about titles, roles, and their place within the monarchy's long-term structure, and the people managing that structure want to make sure everything aligns publicly and privately. Harry and Meghan, for their part, have not addressed the topic recently. In past interviews, they've been firm about the timeline of their family life and have painted a picture of being targeted unfairly by both media and the royal establishment. But with new questions resurfacing, silence may no longer be a sustainable option. Whether this internal review results in an official DNA request or whether the matter remains quietly resolved within palace walls remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. What started as whispers and speculation has now reached a level of seriousness that the royal family can no longer fully ignore. The monarchy, more than anything, is about tradition and legitimacy. It's a system built on lineage and formality. That's why even the smallest question about biological connection matters more than it would for an ordinary family. For the royal institution, blurred lines aren't just awkward, they're potentially destabilizing. The next move may come quietly, behind the scenes. Or it may emerge in legal filings, title updates, or changes in how the children are publicly recognized. Either way, the issue has moved from the sidelines to the center end. It's now a matter of record.